Hey everybody, thanks for watching, tuning in, checking this video out. Hope your day's been great. If it hasn't, I hope it gets better from here. Make sure you keep those you care about close. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe and ring the bell so you can get notifications. I won't be able to catch nor pass the daughter without all of you hitting that subscribe button. If you have any comments, suggestions, tips or tricks, please feel free to leave a comment. So we want to work on building an application that can pull stats from YouTube. I did a little bit of research off camera, and let me switch here. This screen. Okay. So I'll put these links with the video so you can see, but this is the analytics and reporting APIs for YouTube, and what we need to find out is which API we want to use. I think I had read through this a little bit, and we're going to want to use the YouTube Analytics API because that will help support real-time targeted queries so we can get the information we want. And then this page is some information on those. I guess that's the same one we were just looking at. So I found this page, and since I want to use C#.net, this shows all the APIs for those. So the easiest thing is going to be, we're just going to search for YouTube. Which is here. We'll click on this, and this should show us some of the different things we need to do. Doesn't look like there's a lot here. Upload, download, improve performance. So with this video, we're probably not going to, well, I'll try to record most of making the application, but it'll probably be a lot of fast forwarding through editing, just because I know it can be really boring just watching me struggle, even though, you know, part of it is a struggle. But I'll keep track of time. Oh, speaking of time, expenses, that sort of thing. I guess we can check out where we're at on that real quick here. So far total we're at 18 hours 45 minutes. So our total right now is almost $2,600. So just to update that real quick. But this is probably going to be a pretty time intensive thing because there'll be a lot of steps, a lot of research. I'll probably provide some updates, some parts of it, but I'll definitely keep track of the time it takes just to keep y'all informed. So I did another search on how to use Analytics API in C# applications, so I came up with this site, which I'll also post this. If I remember correctly, the first thing we had to do was, in our account, get our API key. I thought it had those steps in this article. Oh, here we go. Have to register in Analytics. So it's probably my ad blocker kicking in there. I'm gonna go turn this off. Okay, yes. So we go to this URL. We have to create a project. We'll just name it okay. So here I think we have to get the browser key. So this other website I was looking at has a picture supposedly on how to do it, but See, I thought that I had that figured out, but guess what? See, this is the fun part. Always trying to figure stuff out. You think you have it figured out? And no. Okay, next up is find the YouTube Data API version 3 here and turn it on. Go to credentials and there go to create credentials, select service account. Now I am not seeing it in here, of course. Guess use the good old search. Okay. Create credentials, select service account. Oh, create. Wow. Okay. Gonna make notes of these in case I need it later. What I really want is an API key, so see this article here says something about downloading a file contains a private key, but I didn't see that option. Keys, maybe here. Okay, there we go, and it recommends to do it in P12 format. Save that. Okay, it did download, so we're going to copy that into our folder. We're trying to keep everything. Okay, so that was the first part I needed, but the hard part is going to be finding exactly what to use and how to use it. We need to get what we want from Google Analytics. So even though that was difficult and took like forever, 20 minutes almost, just to get our API key figured out, because of course another annoying thing is a lot of guides you find are going to be different than what you actually see because stuff changes, and of course people can't always go back and update all their guides. So that's another fun part. Alright, so we got our key made, which is what we're going to need to use to authenticate with Google, obviously. I want to look back at this .NET libraries real quick here. It shows how to upload, download media, and improve performance, but I don't really see how to pull the information I'm actually wanting to get. So I'll probably have to work on figuring that out some more. Alright, so we got our key anyway. So now we're going to go ahead and start our project. Open Visual Studio. I'm going to create a new project. We may end up having to redo this if it ends up being the wrong type, but I'm going to choose this WinFormsApp.NET framework. We're going to call it, you guessed it, the Mr. versus the daughter stats. Now here we can choose which framework version we want to use. We're just going to use the latest to see what happens. Might make things more difficult, but that's what we're going to do. Alright. So here we have it. Go back to our guide we're trying to follow here. says first add the following libraries using the NuGet packages. So if I can remember where to add those. It says we need Google APIs auth. Alright. I guess oh, I said something and my phone picked it up. Okay. Well, the one it says to add is not there, of course. So we're just going to go with let me try to copy what they put over here and just paste it in and see. Go with this one. Always makes it fun when things don't match up. We're going to also do YouTube's analytics. This also says YouTube v3.data. I wonder if it's included in this one. Well, I don't know. See, that's part of the problem, is trying to go off of research you find. I was talking about earlier and stuff not matching up. It's pretty typical. Okay, I'm just changing here the text to what shows the top of the window and the name of the form. And I can never remember how to get the icons to add showing up on the side. So if you double click on this form, it'll show, bring up the actual code for it, but this is the design mode. Almost every time I do this, I have to look up how to get it to show. View or somewhere. Toolbox, I believe. There we go. So this is a way we can easily add things to our form. So we can kind of really quickly put what we want it to look like. So, is it image or picture? Picture box. Okay, put a picture box here. And on the right side we can edit. Like, it's a lot of times it's easier to change a name, so it's easier to find. Okay. Now we're going to click here on image under appearance and select our image. Obviously that's way too big. So since I just double clicked on the image, it's gonna automatically put definition in here for clicking on the image, which you can get rid of. And that's usually going to happen because you have to take it out of the other place it puts it to. I mean, we could leave it, it's not going to hurt anything, but you can go to the definition. I'm trying to remember where it is it puts it. I think it's here. No, it's not there. It's gonna drive me crazy now. Well, let's just search. There it is. So we can delete it from there. And then we can go back here and delete it. And it should quit giving us the error in the designer. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put this under behavior for the image itself. I'm going to put on auto size to see what that does. There we go. So we do stretch image. Will it fit in that box? Yes. Okay. So that's what we want, is stretch image for the behavior size mode. We want a stretch image. And if we hold control, I guess it doesn't work in here, but usually if you hold control when you're adjusting the size, it'll do the horizontal and vertically the same. Okay, so we're just going to start with the MR for testing purposes. I'm going to do a text box here. I'm not doing a text box, we're just doing a label. Okay. And then we're going to change the text to what we want it to say. Subscribers. And let's change the name of this label. Instead of label 1, we're going to put the Mr. Sub. Throw another label in here. Doesn't have to be pretty to start with, we'll change it later. I'm going to do views. So to start with, I just want to gonna have those in here, and then I'm gonna put another label for each of these. What I'm gonna try to do is make the program will change the text in this label. I'm trying to make sure I'm naming them the same. The Mr. Sub results, Mr. View results. Okay, so that's the basics of what we have. I'm gonna put a button on here. We're just doing really basic right now. Just try to get it working, and then we can build on that, obviously. Okay. Change the name of this button. Okay, now we could compile this. It should compile and just not do anything. I mean, have a button to click, but see, obviously we'll change the way it looks and stuff because it's pretty boring right now. Not to mention it doesn't do anything. Alright, so this is the form. I'm going to change the icon to ours, might as well, right? Oh, it's not an actual icon file, it's a PNG. Let's see if it'll let us change it. Nope. Well, I guess that's something we're going to have to add to our list here. Create an icon file from our logo. Size 32 by 32. I'm reading through this now, these instructions on what they're doing here to create a class to be able to communicate with YouTube. A lot of these tutorials leave out a lot of stuff, which doesn't really help people like me when trying to figure out how to do it. Okay, they have two different, the same website has two different examples. I'm comparing the two to see if they're different, which they are a little bit. See, this is using Google Analytics API, this one's using the YouTube API. So I think we need to follow the one with the YouTube. I think that's where I got sidetracked there. So we're just going to add a class following that tutorial. I'm guessing this is because we don't have it referenced in here. I'm going to try adding YouTube version 3. Maybe I won't have to add other using statements. Alright. Okay, this autocomplete can get annoying sometimes. The show potential fixes, if you can get there, often really helps finding statements that you didn't include things. Since I don't think I have an extra parenthesis there. I'm not sure what the difference was there. Okay, that's the first part of the class. Now there's a lot of talk, and I was just trying to read and get it figured out and follow this and hope it gets us where you want to go. Okay, so in this example, return a random video from YouTube, it says. But we don't really have anything to return it to right now, so this should get us our connection to YouTube anyway. I have to find some more examples of how to actually get what we want now. See, I've done coding in the past. I just haven't done it a lot and recently, so it takes me a long time to try to piece stuff together to do what I want to do, find examples, and then change it so I can make it fit what I'm trying to do. So that takes a lot of time, research, trial and error, reading, which doesn't make for very interesting video content, I know. So, which is probably why I will shrink this part down, condense it, and just put a time in there, or make some video in there saying how long it took, because I know I wouldn't want to sit and watch somebody struggling through this. Obviously, I don't really know what I'm doing. I have a basic knowledge of it. You know, coding in general, not specifically get information from YouTube. I've written other applications and stuff, but everything's different. You know the basics, but have to find information and figure out how to apply that to what you're trying to do. So we have a start here. We got a project started. We got our API key made. We got this connection done, but here it's asking for the key path, which is defined nowhere. Now that I'm thinking about it. So you run this in. Oh, okay, so when you make the YouTube object, you're gonna have to, or the YouTube communication, you're gonna have to send it a key path and the account email. So where I'm curious is if that account email is like just the email for the account, or if it's the service account ID, which I'm gonna do some more research on that to see too. But I think I'm done struggling with this for right now, probably. I kind of want to... So YouTube does also, I'll put this in the notes also, but it does have where you can test stuff. But of course it doesn't have .NET in here because, that'd be way too easy. So basically I have to do a bunch of research trying to figure out how to use this stuff. I don't know how much of it I'm going to record or do off camera. Keep track of time, running over my cord. Just frustrating, time consuming. I'm not sure why I decided I want to do things like this, but I want to do something that I have a tendency to stick to it till I figure it out, which can take a whole bunch of time. Okay, we're going to try this method here. Channel ID, which I guess we need to get. Channel ID. Do I have that already? And hopefully if I ever get people watching, we can change it to something easier than the random characters it gives. Make a note of that over here. Okay, what's the part? Okay, it doesn't help explain it very much. Okay. The weird thing is, I'm at the exact same URL somewhere else and it shows... Oh, no it doesn't. Example, here's a list of channels. I have no idea what this is gonna do. Okay. Well, that's sweet. I'm just gonna do this and see what it does. Execute. Try using Auth 2.0. Well, it's checked. That's helpful. Let's try this one. That one worked. Okay, what was I supposed to do? A list of channels that subscribe to the authenticated users channel. 0. Well, it's true, I have no subscriptions. I'm getting a whole bunch of nowhere. It's gonna do it old. Google search. Yep, you're gonna watch this with me.
Hi there folks, my name is Ben and on this channel I like to talk about tech and in particular tutorials.
Okay, the only reason I'm recording this is showing what it's taking me to get this done. I know this probably isn't gonna make it all into the final video, probably gonna be squished or whatever, but it's what it takes to figure this stuff out if you don't know it, if you're just trying to figure it out. Which a lot of people, if they're set up a YouTube channel, probably don't want to write an app doing this, but I thought it might be interesting. I'm going to have to do a lot to make this video not extremely boring, but I'm probably going to record, speed up a bunch of this, say, okay, 30 minutes later, but it's rough. It takes a lot of time. We'll get there. It's a lot of research. Alright, back to it. Alright, y'all. We're going to go there, see what happens. console.developers.google.com. Helps if you can type or spell. Okay, good. So, looks like we basically already went here in a roundabout way. Alright, we'll go back to the video.
I have a project.
I'll probably cut a bunch of this out because I already struggled through getting here. I usually personally like reading stuff, so I don't have to jump around a video, watch a whole thing, whatnot, but I'm watching this one because seems like what I was looking for was either outdated or whatnot. So, watching this one, I'll skip parts, shrink it, whatever. Like I said, this is going to be a really condensed of my time working on this because it's just going to take so much time and no one wants to watch me struggle with this for 10 hours. Like I said, though, I am keeping track of how much time I'm doing on this, so we'll continue on.
Space within the...
Okay, so following the video, I'm going to go back here. Maybe. Okay, we got here to this API library page. Dang it. Okay, we got logged into console.cloud.google.com. If we go, make sure our project is selected, go to enable APIs and services. Then we're going to click this plus to enable APIs and services. Here we're going to click for YouTube. And this YouTube API version 3. And then we're going to click on enable. We're going to click on this learn more because that might be useful. I don't think I quite got that in time. Okay. Go back to the video here. Okay, so the next part in the video, they had to select credentials. When we create our credentials earlier, they're already showing here, so that's fine. We're going to go ahead and leave those enabled. Alright, back to the video. Alright, so in his video, he brought up this API reference, which is something I'm going to make track of. Probably use that a lot. I don't know if there's so much information out there, so many different things. It's so hard to find what you actually need. I'm using another person's YouTube information. I'll post a link to his video. I didn't get permission to show his video, so I'll probably cut a bunch of that out and just show these parts where I'm actually going back and using what he talks about. Okay, I think we're on this page before, but I'm not 100% on that. Anyway, back to the video. Alright, so for subscriber count, according to the video, we'd want to go to channels. And if we go to overview, we can see down here that it has statistics, subscriber count. So we're going to be using that. We're going to go back to video to see how to use that. Alright. Okay. So we're back here under channels and looking at lists. And then we know that the part we want is under statistics. So if we look here, it shows this is the HTTP request that we're going to need to make. So we're going to copy this, throw it in here. So that we can have an add to it. So we know that's the base part we need to make the request to the API. So we have the channels, and then we need to add statistics. I just want to look at this code real quick to see. Okay, so if we look here, we can see that it's using question mark part equals statistics. So let's add that to ours. And then it's saying and key equals your API key, which we got before. Okay. Now from there, we're going to need to get the channel ID we want to look at somehow. So back to the video for now. Oh, that's what we were missing right here. So and ID equals, and this is going to be the channel ID, so we're going to grab this from here, and we want the key added in there as well. So that's what we need. So to break this down, what we need is okay, we're starting with this because we need the channels. And then we need to add this part to tell it we need the part statistics. And then we are telling it of this channel ID right here. So we need to add this. And then we need to also provide our API keys. So we need to add this part for the key. Then if we run this in a browser just to test with, it should give us statistics for that channel. So we'll try and see what happens. And there we go. View count 0, subscriber count 0, video count 0. That's exactly right. Now, curious to try this on just another channel to see what it gives us. I'm just gonna pick one randomly. This one, okay. Where I get to the channel ID. See, I'm like YouTube challenged. I don't even know how to get to this channel.
Then you're what?
Go with this channel ID here. Let's see what this gives us. Okay. So that gives us, I don't think that's an exact subscriber count because I seriously doubt they have 2,120,000 exact subscribers. The view count and the video count is probably pretty accurate, but I don't think the subscriber count is. This is how I'm looking at stuff. I end up with so much stuff all over the place. I'm trying to find what I was looking at before, and I just have stuff open everywhere. Oh, yep, that's what it is. So, the subscriber count is rounded to 3 significant figures, so we're not going to be able to get an exact subscriber count, unfortunately. At least not at this time. But that at least gives us somewhat of an idea, I guess. And we found the information we're going to need to actually get that. And it looks like with this, you'll actually get pretty much everything I'm wanting to get right now. So that's good. So I'm going to save this. So that at least is going to get us a start where we want to go. Well, let's look at the rest of this video at least and see how he uses that information. I'm kind of curious about that. If I can find it again. Alright, I'm going to jump off of this video because it's not really giving me how I want to use the information. But we have a start. We know that we get this return when we send this request. So then we'll just need to work on pulling the information out of the information that's returned to us. So probably have to find something else that says how to do that. But I mean, I think we have a decent start. We got our stupid chords, got our API key made, we got a really rough application started. This should help here with the authentication for the application. We figured out what GET requests we need to send you the information we want. So now we need to figure out how to get the information, send that GET request, and get the information we want back from that GET request. So that's what we'll be doing when I decide to start working on this some more. But for right now, I think that's where we're going to give it a rest for today. Because if I can find my stuff, which I have open everywhere, I've spent about, I'm going to say 2 hours on this today. Like I've said many times, I'm going to shorten this up when I actually post a video because it's a lot of time you struggling just looking around, but we'll keep track of the time because you need to see how long it takes. I do have experience coding, but it's finding the information, how to get it, how to use it, and what you want to do. A lot of people may not even be interested in doing something like this, but if so, I'll try to shorten the process when I actually post a video. Like I said, I'll probably shorten it and say, you know, an hour later, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, but I want to have some of it in there so you can see what it takes to get it done. If you like this content, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you get notifications. I can't catch nor pass the daughter without y'all subscribing. Thanks for watching. This may not even make it in there because I'm probably going to add to it because I'm not done. We'll see. We'll see. Might be multiple parts to getting this silly app done. But anyway, make sure to keep those you care about close, and until the next time.